what an awesome atmosphere. I mean, this is why you come to Oregon. So thrilled to have our alumni come back, our fans to be so supportive, shout on the, in the third quarter. You wonder what that's going to feel like, seeing that firsthand. Obviously, a really special moment. I was excited to see our guys to compete, go out there and get it in every rep. That being said, there's so much room for improvement. It's hard to get too excited after one play because you realize that means somebody else messed up on the other side of the ball. So great environment. Again, alums being here was really special to me. They built this program, so seeing them all here made that really a special event. But excited with the result and excited to get back to work.
Dan, your thought on the quarterback play as a whole? Obviously, you have plenty of explosive plays, also a total of 4 interceptions. So just what you see in terms of quarterback play?
You love the explosives. Obviously, you get excited about that. Came out from the jump and hit one, really early. And I thought they did do a good job of pushing the ball down the field, but you can't put the ball in jeopardy. So that's one that I know every one of those quarterbacks wish they had back. Protecting the ball a little bit better is something you walk away with for sure.
You kind of mentioned it already, but your first kind of experience as a head coach instead of just coordinator, just kind of walk through that a little bit and how it was start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, you could smell it out there today. There was a tailgate experience. The environment is something that we played in pregame in our meeting today. We kind of showed, hey, what's the Ottoman environment? What's it like to play here? And I think our players got a chance to really experience that today. We have over 42,000 fans. I mean, that's pretty special for a spring game.
Spring games, people often make big deal out of practice of the game, but it's one of just 15. How consistent was this to the other 15 practices, or I guess 14?
Ultimately, I think some guys really stood up today and make big plays. But I was excited to see the guys that made plays in spring made plays today. I think there was some carryover there, and I think that the consistency of that approach day in and day out, that's going to lead to opportunities.
This program is seeing some high-powered offenses before. So just kind of what is your expectation heading into the season, and did the fans kind of get a glimpse of what this offense could potentially be today?
I mean, we want to be an explosive offense. I think I've said it several times. Explosive plays and takeaways are the two main determining factors of wins and losses. So, yeah, that's something we want to be. I certainly don't think we're there yet, and we've got a long ways to go. But we saw some steps in the right direction.
Walking through that first drive, there's 3 catches, 75-yard drive. Seven McGee had 2 catches, 74 yards. What was it about starting the game so aggressively that you guys had it in the plan?
It's funny. You don't know if a play is going to connect. Kenny called a shot early on there in the game, and it came open. It was a good ball, good throw, and good catch by 7, good yards after catch. But defense gave themselves a chance by getting them down, right, going into the red area there. I think a run right after that was almost either a TFL or a short gain. And then they're able to bang it in there on the next play to 7. It was a little deep on the route, but great job coming down with the ball. Obviously, a big play for him.
Some of the turnovers were forced by younger players, JJ and Julio being 2 of them. Can you just speak to the efforts there and kind of how you saw, I guess, the defense go? 4 or 5 turnovers, I think, in the game, so aggressiveness. Yeah,
I don't know if I've been around a defensive coordinator that emphasizes takeaways as much as Tosh Lupoy, and our defensive staff does a phenomenal job, the entire crew. And again, one thing we've realized is if you can create takeaways, you give yourself the chance. I think Yellow early on would have ran away with the game if they hadn't turned the ball over a couple times. And they kept it close because of that. Some big takeaways by the Green D.
Dan, DJ Johnson, we'd obviously seen for years here in this program flashes from him on both sides, particularly on defense. But where he's there now full time, and to have fans are going to make a lot of big declarations after he has the kind of disruption he has today. How disruptive do you believe he can be when it counts in the fall?
I think DJ can be, one of the best players in the conference. I see him develop every single day in and day out. One of the best players in the nation if he continues to push himself to the level he's capable of. I'm excited to see what he did today, but he has that growth mindset, right? He's got to go say, okay, what can I do better? How can I improve on where I'm at and not be satisfied, which I think DJ will do.
You touched on a little bit, but what are you most excited about with your defense now that you've seen a bit of it in the spring?
I'm focused on what we got to get better at, to be honest, just watching that spring game. But I'm excited about the energy that our coaches bring and the energy our players bring day in and day out. We've got a lot of opportunities obviously to improve. But if you play with fanatical effort, you run to the ball, if you tackle physically, which I think we could have done a lot better today, then you got a chance to win games. But the takeaways, that's a big benefit.
Noah Whittington and Sean Dollars both had some pretty nice plays today, explosive plays. Just wanted to ask for your evaluation on those two guys and maybe where you're hoping to see them rather grow moving forward here.
Yeah, I think Noah continued to do what we've seen in practice, is run really hard. At times I think he needs to be a little bit more patient, but he had some really explosive runs because of that. Sean had a nice run there. I think they got him on the face mask, but he was able to turn that into some additional yards. But both those guys did a good job with the ball in their hands today, and they protected the ball, which is a big thing.
What was it like getting the honorary coaches involved, for your coaching staff, taking a hands-off approach and putting it into the hands of other people? Like, was that kind of stressful? Was that fun? Like, what was that like for you?
No, that was unreal. I mean, we're getting to meet some legends like, DeAnthony, LaMichael, Eric, and Haloti was really, really fun. It's also fun watching them have the stress of calling some plays. That was exciting. I think DeAnthony was pretty pumped after his big play score that he called. So he's probably got it figured out. He's ready to start doing this thing. But having those guys back, so special and important to us. Those guys are obviously phenomenal Duck football players, but they're better human beings. And just getting to spend some time around today, it's they're great representatives of what it means to be an Oregon Duck.
Transfers are becoming a huge part of programs for college football. Could you comment on the performance of some of the guys today, like Coda and Whittington?
Yeah, going to have to, go back and look at the film, but I know Coda had some big catches. Noah had some big catches. I think Gonzo, did a good job today from an early, perspective. Want to go back and evaluate that film. But I think like we've always said, we're going to look for opportunities to enhance our program. If we can get better, we're going to look for opportunities to get better. That being said, we have to continue to develop the players that are on our roster and do a great job recruiting great young talent as well.
Couple on the personnel front. One at punter with Will Hutchinson having the kind of day he had. What have you seen from him this spring? And with that, we'd seen that Tom Snee and Christian Williams obviously not on the rosters. What's their status?
Yeah, they're both away from the program right now. Excited for they're taking care of some issues for themselves, but I'm excited about what Will did today. I know he's had some off and on days there from a standpoint operating as the punter and doing a good job there, but he had some big kicks today. Obviously, it was good to see.
The players kind of referenced this in interviews that the coaches stressed they want to have practice tougher than the actual game. So just talk about how this offense and also going up against this defense can also help you prepare for what's to come in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, we think iron sharpens iron, right? You want to create that competitive environment in practice each day. You want to make it tough. We don't have a lot of guys sitting around during any period during practice. The more guys that we can get better, the better. And that's, you have to stress each other. You have to do things that are hard. We're going to call offenses that are tough for certain defenses that we run, or vice versa. We're going to call defenses that are tough looks for these offensive looks. And we want to be the best at executing versus those looks. So got to get that day in and day out.
Just curious if you have an update on a couple of players, Jackson Powers Johnson and I think Byron Cardwell, who I believe suited up, but I don't think took any snaps.
Yeah, precautionary there with Byron. JPJ looks like he's going to be okay. Want to continue to get the medical professionals eval on that, but it sounds like he's okay. Got to see him right there in the locker room.
How impressive was it to see? I think Jay's second pass was an interception, but his fourth or fifth was a touchdown. Just kind of that bounce back from a young quarterback.
Yeah, I thought there was obviously good and bad with every one of our cues today. But yeah, having the poise to be able to say, so what, now what, next play, I think that was big for Jay.
Beginning of spring, you said you didn't know what this identity of this team would be. You'd have to see it play out. You've got one more practice, I realize that, but just what's it look like right now, 14 in?
Competitive spirit. These guys want to be great. I think they know where they have to go to get there. I think they know what that's going to take, but it's going to take some more hard work. But we're trending in the right direction.
At the beginning of a tenure, Dan, there's always a lot made of the first 100 days, and for you, that was finishing up one job and signing day and all those things. What's the plan the next 100? The next 100 is the off season and handing it over to the players. It's the off season training. It's leading up to fall camp. So what's the next 100 look like in your mind? How is that mapped out as a head coach?
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces, a lot of moving parts. We'll have, a recap basically where we followed up this spring, exit interviews, opportunities to enhance and grow. I think our coaches will have a chance to sit down with me and be evaluated as well as our players with their coaches. And then we're entering, an opportunity to get on the road and do evaluations from a recruiting standpoint over the next month and a half, where we get to go out and see prospects that could potentially be Oregon Ducks. So that'll be a big part of it. And then head right into summer camp. This will be a big phase for us in the strength and conditioning phase, where we're going to put on some weight, some mass, build some bulk and strength, and then obviously big recovery opportunity as we work our way into the summer.
On a similar note, Kirby Smart recently had a quote saying his job was 50% recruiting, 25% eval, 25% actual coaching. Do you subscribe to a similar mindset to that? Are you any different?
I haven't put the percentages down, but I'll say it's not near as much football as you'd like it to be at times. As a coach, you wear a lot of other hats. And I think that's the way college football is trending. I think we're all aware of it. There's a lot of pieces. Recruiting is certainly the lifeblood of our program. And that's, it's always going to be the main piece outside of taking care of our own players. That's always number one. But we have to do a great job in recruiting because that's going to enhance your ability to be a great coach on the field.